I would like to call to order the meeting of April 6, 2022. And please take roll call.
Matthew Thurston,
Present.
Crystal Figueroa, Asa Corrales, Fatih Babi, Trina Patel, Thomas Bura, Alice Ortiz,
Present.
James Torres,
Here.
Peggy Romanian, Arthur Trudy,
Present.
Dr. Derek Nicholas, Joshua Percy.
And everybody will stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to seek a motion to approve today's agenda. I have a motion by James Torres and second by President Thurston. Any discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion approved. I am also seeking a motion to approve the minutes from the March 16th Parliament Meeting and the March 30th Budget Meeting. Motion by Representative Figueroa and second by Alex Ortiz. Any discussions? All those in favor say yea. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? All right. And now I would like to yield the floor to Anchor TV to discuss the reallocation of their budget for 2022-2023.
Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to speak despite the circumstances. And we acknowledge that there's no money in the budget allowed to allocate to us, but we would still like our voice heard. And with that being said, we had a few grievances with the recommendations upon reviewing them. Some of them being line items that we discussed that were very pertinent and important to continue to have and use at will. And unfortunately, looking at the numbers, specifically 114 photo supplies and also repairs and maintenance 210 were cut significantly and drastically to a point where we feel as though it would be almost inoperable for us to function properly. We understand that if we do not have access to these line items immediately, that we can do finance requests, and that if we have to, do capital improvement. However, Anchor TV films multiple locations on and off campus, and with that being said, it could be in a potential environment that could damage said equipment at any given time. And if we have a repair and maintenance budget of only $500, that may not even be suitable to repair even like the smallest bit of a tripod that Raymond is using over here. So we wanted to have our voice heard, and we wanted to understand the reasoning behind those cuts, especially since we had willingly cut out $1,000 automatically from line item 131C technology manager and just only allocate $1 for the following fiscal year. So that's our questions with that. Superseding that, I would like to add that if, again, we can't keep the amount of money that is in there currently, not asking for more, but if we can't keep the current budget that we have with those line items, I am proposing that we reallocate line item 131A Executive Board, which is $8,800, take out approximately $800 and reallocate it to 210 repair and maintenance, as well as 114 photo supplies, and we would split it about 400 even, so it would be $500, which was recommended, plus the 400 reallocation to $900, and for 114 photo supplies, $1,800 plus the 400 reallocation to equal about $2,200. And another question I have about the policy is we can do an emergency allocation, but we can't do an emergency reallocation. And if so, I couldn't find that policy, so I'd like some elaboration on that. Thank you.
Why don't you answer about your decisions with regard to your budget?
When we had the budget, we had to balance the entire budget for the semester. So that's the reason why it wasn't just like that got cut. So it was a bunch of other groups like that. And we came to the conclusion that we had missed the balance of the budget, but before you can ask for the money back, the money's there.
We understand that the process of it is tedious and it didn't just happen to our org, it happened to other orgs. I'm concerned that the other orgs may have not been informed as much as to what's going on with the nature of SCG's budget in general, and that maybe next semester there might not even be funding for SCG, therefore the funding for these orgs might also disappear. So I want to make sure that that's landlocked now for future RIC students that join Anchor TV, as I'm a senior graduating, and I also took your advice as last time, and I have an apprentice who is filming right now, Raymond Bakari, who said he would be willing to join the executive board for the following semester. So, you know, we're just trying to pave a path for our future, and I want to make sure that they have all the resources at ready and at will.
I did a lot of notes last time we met, and I understand you guys like have like old equipment. And we spoke on it before. We had an email that came out from the president where he said they had like $24 million that they raised somehow. And I was wondering if there any way we could tap into that to help them get new equipment for the future. Because we're in the information age and the technology age. So this, I'm not.
If I had the 24 million, I'd give it to you, Ron.
I'm not the entirety, but you get what I'm saying, some way, because, this is what they're going for their profession, They're working on outdated equipment and stuff like that, so.
So to give you a little bit of insight from an accounting standpoint, that's one reason. So we had enrollment, I don't know if you're aware, but it's been down significantly. So our initial, compared to previous years, our budget was down almost 38%, I believe. So we had to divide it between all the chapters. My chapter alone took a hit of 79%. Because I acknowledge, after I heard you speak, that some orgs add a little bit more value to college, to put it in decent, in words. So we have to make the tough choice of who we're cutting money from. Like, for example, the carnival next year too, that works for almost, I don't know what your viewership is, and if you can quantify your viewership.
Yes.
But I can, we can quantify, there's other orgs that we can quantify and know exactly how many people attend. So for us, we do this from an unbiased standpoint. We have to acknowledge SCG itself had to grab money from escrow. I would say like 70% of the budget went from escrow because we just don't have the money. We have to be fair to everybody. I do acknowledge camera equipment also becomes obsolete after certain years. How you encode, how you record, your tripods, are they fluid, are they not? All that reflects in the quality. So me as being an enthusiast, I can relate to you because if a lens falls and it breaks, you got to replace, or the camera breaks, you probably might have to replace the camera and the lens. So we took all that and believe me, we dug deep. And some orgs only got $300, and they requested almost $3. So that's what 10% of their requested budget. We had to cut 90% because the money wasn't there. So we wanted to prioritize the orgs that add a lot of value to the campus.
And once again, I completely understand that. But as I had requested, just those two exact line items, I specifically requested not to be cut. And if you were going to cut them, not that drastically. I understand there's a percentage and a non-biased number that you came up with. And if it's quantifiable numbers you want, I have plenty of charts, spreadsheets from live stream, YouTube, and Facebook I can give you. Just alone right here from September 1st to 2021 to 2022, we've had about 15,000 total minutes viewed, maximum of like 20 viewers per month, and total views on just a single video, 329. Just alone, actually, with the Providence mayoral candidacy forum that we had recently, we had about 225 active viewers for the total runtime of about 2 hours. So Anchor TV has been actually thriving despite what the pandemic has done, because we have learned to adapt to the various situations of media where you might have a meeting in person, or you might have a meeting on Zoom, or you might even have a meeting in person and someone join in from Zoom and stuff, and so on and so forth. So again, I just want to know what the process was of those exact raw numbers from those specific line items. If you needed to cut, $2,000, I understand that, but why did you choose those line items when I specifically requested not to choose from those?
I think what ended up happening is that we got down to the nitty-gritty of what was left of the money of what we had to cut, and then we started going for line to line. And it's, again, not just yours, we understand your concern for the importance of your maintenance request, your need to have that money in there, of course. But we then had to go line for line, and that's when we did decide to cut. From it, I think that's the only thing that's just what it came down to. It's just us line for line for each organization, just taking pennies, whatever we can, even if it was a little bit from here, a little bit from there, just to make up for that. Just because, again, enrollment's down, and because of the involvement, like there's nobody here at our student government, we need students. So as long as we get more students, the funding in that issue, like that's where it's coming from. It's a lack of student representation in our student government parliament. So what you should be doing, not you specifically, but just like all students, is take out a petition, come join and be part of parliament so that we don't have to deal with this. We can control our money and give our voices to do that. So that would be I guess my proactive, my response to you is just try to see if we can get members to join parliament. So when that does happen, they can be part of that conversation. They can join finance and be like, hey, actually, you have a little chance of not getting that cut that's like who is a part of finance because you're there actively participating in that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
On the specific line items, I can't tell you exactly right now what happened.
Yeah, so it was in February.
I can't tell you specifically why we chose to do that one. We, like she said, we went after spending 5 or 6 hours and we still having to,
Almost like 80,000 left.
we had to cut $80,000 left. It came down to what are the biggest expenses that, do we want to cut the salaries or do we want to cut, if something might potentially break, we can come back and request that money again if it's there. So, and if not, then you can request, there's no more money to get, right? You acknowledge that. But, then we leave it up to you, and instead, if you guys want to sacrifice how much money you're getting paid versus other line items, then you can reallocate them for the next budget towards that. We got to get creative too. It's tough for everybody. I had to raise $7,000 to take my members to a conference when the school wasn't even allowing us having money to do it. I had to go out, I'm not questioning what the methods are, but relying simply on the SCG is a lot to ask for too, especially when enrollment is down. Another thing is, he's here because I told him if you want to be part of the SBO, join the finance commission so you see how the numbers work. And when our advisor says, why don't you guys have money? Well, this is why. We understand exactly what's happening. We also have a representative there that, although can't vote, but understands how the budget process works. And you guys are a huge organization that's extremely important on campus and also does a lot of work. Just like accounting, if you're studying photography or filmmaking, he's practicing right now. That's crucial. It's not like business management where business management can open up to a whole different array of things that you can't focus. So to me, Anchor TV and the newspaper too, they're extremely important. Tell you exactly why we chose for that line item. If I tell you something right now, I'll probably be making it up because I had my notes last week, but you guys can't make it. This week I simply don't have them with me, so I can't give you an exact explanation. But I can give you the recommendation for somebody from your organization or somebody that feels your pain towards Anchor TV to join the Parliament Finance Commission. It's just us two, and this should be. Everybody's invested in it.
We have well over 30 plus. And
you guys have a huge membership too. I feel for you, and I wish because honestly I don't remember exactly, but I know from my budget I got $7,000 so other people can have
And our budget wasn't that big either. Yeah.
So, we just had to cut and cut. Like we said, the SCG just pretty much we said, let's just take it off from escrow. Nothing was, they requested additional funding for the salaries. Joanne and Diane, they do a whole bunch of hard work for us and we couldn't give them a raise. You know, those are things that kind of hurt the situation, but all we said, they could come back and request some money and we'll try to find it. Also, I put the SB on the best disposition to help you guys try to raise money if you guys need it from other sources. Military discounts. We are in the best disposition to try to help. I told my club, don't depend on the SCG for funding because we're at a point that if enrollment doesn't keep going up, what are we going to do? There's just no money to. And now, like you said, we're being threatened with the solvent of the SCG because there's no membership. So, you know, I wish I can tell you exactly what you want to know, but it came down to we still had $80,000 to take away from those loans. Now,
And we like, it wasn't just, it was systematic, it was just down the line, so it wasn't like we just picked your club and it was like, all right, take their room. And I applied for Parliament, like, I believe in everything that I do. So if I get in, I'll be a big advocate for you guys. And I saw that email about $24 million, I keep bringing that up at $24 million. That should somehow get from a little bit of it to back to the students somehow. Those donations and stuff to the schools. I gotta find the email. I'll shoot it to the board to you. So let's say at least on the food. Oh no, yeah, no. Because I spoke about it. You haven't heard me talk about this. That's fine. I'm a big advocate for that. I mean, you guys, you're a necessity on the school. You know what I mean? You guys keep everybody entertained. Not just you guys, but newspaper, the media stuff, music going on, you know, and all the events. You got broadcast everything, you know. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you again for your time and thank you for your explanation. And again, like my biggest question is just the if statement that's been, popping up again is like, yes, I understand how the process works. We can go and, request money and see if it's there. And that's my question is, can you reassure that it will be there?
I can only reassure as long as we get more members. That's the only thing that is based, we don't have members. we can't.
That's what they're holding over our head right now.
there's no reassurance. I mean, you can send me 5 representatives, I'll put 5 from the SBO, every club could put, and we get the parliament going. But we need to do that as representatives of our own clubs. If we don't advocate for the SCG, we can't just keep asking from the SCG, give me. I don't know what personally you're doing for recruitment for parliament or anything else, but I recruited him. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm recruiting within class.
We're trying to get it because I'm leaving and I'm still doing the legwork because I believe in this. And this is something that's extremely important. So all I can tell you is we have to work together to make sure. If you want reassurances, then tell me, Alex, you can stand at the dining facility on Mondays, I'll be there on Tuesday, and let's try to recruit people for parliament. Because we can't. The president made the decision. It wasn't the SCG. What does Rick need us to do? Do they need us to go recruit more people out of high schools to come to? I can't control that. I can't give you any reassurance. And I'm not even the president of the SCG. I just work on the money coming in. I manage the money that the school gives us. So I believe that all of us here are doing our best to even keep the SCG alive because we volunteered. I had 6 classes this semester, law school. I had to go to a conference. I'm working on a bill for Congress at the federal level. And I'm still sitting here at 7 o'clock at night with a 3-year-old in my house and a spouse waiting for me. The commitments are here. We're trying our best to make it work.
You guys have a very strong proposal.
The whys, I really wish I could tell you, but all I can say is that we need to work together to make sure the SCG is alive come August.
And you guys have the biggest voice for that, 'cause you guys,
Exactly.
the media outlet. You know, you guys can like, put the word out there, like, you know.
Or if you need me to stand in front of the camera and tell them, you guys need to join Parliament, please do it, because if not, the SCG won't be there, then I'll do that. I'll do whatever it takes before I leave on May 14th, which is graduation day, to help you guys get this pushed up together. I don't have any.
And then I just want to confirm, the changes that you want to make to your reallocation of the budget for 2022, 2023.
Yes.
You want those, you want the
You want the
$400?
Yeah.
So you want 800, 400 to go to 114, and 400 to go to 210 out of line 130.
Yes.
And now I'm seeking a motion to approve the Anchor TV reallocated budget for 2022, 2023. I have a motion by James Torres and a second.
Can I just clarify what the reallocation is?
$400, so $800 total from line 131. 400 is going to line 210 clear the maintenance, and 400 is going to total supplies line of program.
So I have a motion by James Torres and a second by Alex Ortiz. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion approved. Moving on to open forum, since there are no, oh, and thank you for your time.
I can hear also.
Yeah, you guys are all.
You guys need us?
You can stay, it's up to you guys.
It's up to you guys.
Okay, yeah.
But thank you, Anchor TV, for your time. We do appreciate you guys coming to the meeting.
Don't worry, I'm in Parliament, I'll be here all the time.
So now moving on, so, yeah. Moving on to officers' announcements, I will start with President Thurston with his announcement.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for attending today. I have a few things that I wanted to address. So, wanted to echo Speaker Corrales' concerns that we are, in fact, in desperate need of additional Parliament members for the fall. So please, like Alex eloquently said, encourage your friends to come out and take on a petition. I had a meeting with the Dean of Students and the Associate Dean of Students last week, and they expressed that in order for us to get this fixed, then we just need more Parliament members. And so that's what we're going to work on. There might be some. We're going to try to maybe work into the pipelines of the college departmentally. Maybe we encourage some students from student orgs, so that there's been talks of different possibilities with potentially student organizations that receive stipends, that they at least would be required to send one person to Parliament. That's one possibility, but just making sure that there actually is a representation, because this is not what it should be. And I also wanted to reiterate that we have class elections coming up, so the declaration period is next Monday through, I apologize, April 12th through the 19th. So you're going to be able to, upcoming sophomores, juniors, and seniors are going to be able to run for office. The actual election is going to take place virtually, so that email is going to be sent from the Dean of Students office, and allow students to vote for their next officers using their written email, so that way it can only be one time for each person. And then also SCG office positions are also coming up, so the declaration period is the same time, and election day is going to be our last Parliament meeting of the semester, which is April 27th. That's 6 p.m., which is different than our meetings that I believe a Parliament meeting will follow at 8 o'clock. Okay. Just in case we run over. I believe that is all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
And moving on to Vice President, it's vacant, so we move on to Secretary Figueroa.
Hi everyone, I hope you guys are having a good evening. I just wanted to give a basic report and an update on where we stand as student organizations in the year of 2022. far, we have passed 2 constitutions, and they were new organizations. We are working to pass 2 more tonight, and I also have a new organization that is forming, and I can anticipate that SOC will review their constitution probably within the semester, but if not, it is likely that they will review for next semester and most likely be passed by Parliament next semester as well. So that's just an update on where we are as an organization and as secretary. That's all for the announcements.
Thank you. Moving on to Treasurer Obabi, who's not here at the moment. And now moving on to the speaker announcements. The only announcement I have for today is a late leave for Treasurer Fatia Obabi due to religious reasons. Hopefully she will be joining us shortly. And just the bylaws, an update on the bylaws and education commission. Oh, and a motion to approve, yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve Treasurer Obama's late leave for today's meeting? Okay, first on that. Alex. Any discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
And the second thing I wanted to announce during my announcements is the Bylaw Education Committee had their first meeting officially on Friday, which was really successful. We had our members come and we kind of just did an introduction of what the committee is, what we do, started going over the bylaws in respect to the forum, which we ended up with a big issue in regards to like our funding and stuff for next year. So we're already looking at it to see if we do need to make possible changes, but as we already mentioned today, when President Thurston met with the Dean of Students and the Associate to the Dean of Students, they're really just looking for more students to join Parliament, just a commitment from the students to know that they're actually here, they really want to, make this work, and I agree with them. I feel that all student organizations, leaders, or even just anybody in a club, if you have the time, please come. This affects your club because we oversee your club, so come here, come fight for your club, come speak for your club, fight for more money, do whatever you need to do, just join Parliament and just be here. But I guess that's it for my announcements. And we're just looking for more members, we're always looking for members, that's it. So that's it. And now we're going to the deputy speaker, it's vacant. So we will move on to the Constitutions and Organization Conference report. I give the floor to Secretary Victor.
discussions? I need to vote. All in favor, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Any discussion? Okay, and second, second constitution I have here is for the Spanish Club. We have President Amadis Obama here to represent their constitution. So they are already actually an existing organization on campus, and so they're just looking for a simple name change. And so with that being said, I would just like to give the floor over to Amadis and ask if you would like to give Parliament members your purpose of the organization.
So, my club, we need a Spanish club. So we started as just a Spanish club because we were just focused on like teaching those, helping those like learn more about the Spanish language and to practice and perform better in the Spanish field. And it was kind of, and everyone who was wanted to learn how to speak Spanish, they were more than welcome. We wanted to change it because we wanted to focus more on things that happen in the Latin American community. We wanted to do events where it was based on like educational purposes, not just like to learn the language and practice the language. So we decided to make it Unidos because again, we're welcoming everyone. We're not just welcoming those who are just Spanish. We're welcoming anyone who wants to learn and get educated on the Spanish road. So that's why we decided to change the name for it.
Does any Parliament members have any questions for Amadis?
Or anything.
What's the new name? I'm sorry. What's the proposed name?
It's Unidos Spanish Club.
Oh, okay, that's the new.
So
Okay.
Unidos like meaning united.
What was it before?
Just Spanish.
Oh, okay. I was like-
Yeah, we're just gonna add the Unidos part to it, you know.
Okay. I love it.
And so, like I said already, they are already an existing organization, so they will not need any changes or any new members. So yeah, with that being said, I would like to seek a motion to approve the Constitution of the Spanish Club. Okay, I have a motion by Morales, and a second by President McPherson. Any discussions? I move to vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any discussion? All those opposed? We are officially,
Congrats.
Yes.
Now, moving on to the reports, we move on to the Finance Commission meeting. Finance Commission minutes for March 30th, 2022. We're gonna have President Gerson go over those minutes for us.
So there was a finance meeting last Wednesday, 30th. All of our members were present, and we wanted to, this was the meeting where we basically approved all of the satisfied organizations' budgets. So in this situation, we were able to go through each and every one and approve them, all 33 of them. And there was, the only one that was unsatisfied was Anchor TV, and they did not show, so we had to table them until today. Say again? The way I looked at it before I read them. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, motion to approve the minutes.
I'm seeking a motion to approve the minutes from the Finance Commission meeting of March 30th. We got a motion by Alex Ortiz and a second by Victor. Any discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Moving on to any updates and remarks. We'll start with the faculty updates. Dr. Nicholas is not here with us, so we'll be moving on to staff updates by Representative Patrick.
Thank you. On behalf of the PSA, time is getting short. Your PSA members are here to support you whenever you can. Other than that, think smart, be smart.
Resignations and vacancies, I will give the floor to the president person.
Thank you. I have, do I have to do them first or do I look at them first?
That's for Ian's consent.
Okay. Can I have unanimous consent to approve the expulsion, resignations, and appointments? And they are expelled was Aiden Missouri, because he missed more than 3 Parliament meetings. Resigned Patrick Gibb due to his schedule changing, and not having sufficient time for Parliament, which is disappointed here. Fatia Obabi was interim appointed to the Bylaws and Adjudication Committee. So we are now going to make it Parliament official by appointing her to this committee. She will be the 6th member of the committee. Any discussion? All in favor?
Now moving on to the issues of Parliament members. Anyone have any issues?
Thank you. I just wanted to, I forgot RSA has a duck hunt tomorrow night in the residential village. So if you come, you can go find up to, I think we decided 2 ducks, maybe 3, depending on how many people. But you can find some ducks and then you get a prize, a random prize, anything from a little fidget spinner to a Nintendo Switch. And then on Friday, we have our Think Fast event, which is our interactive trivia game down in the cafe, thanks to staff representative Patrick. So, yes.
Thank you. Earlier, the discussion was on multiple points on getting more members.
Yeah.
I know I'm preaching to the choir. Do we have a committee? Do we have anyone on a sector of Parliament that's tasked to do that? Who can I work with?
So
Who can I brainstorm with so that we can start now?
we're working on a building and public relations committee right now, which is traditionally the committee that would be recruiting members to Parliament. So I'm working on getting members on that, which right now is just a word. And then we're gonna have to work together.
So if you don't mind, we get a chance to look at the existing committee,
Yeah.
as large as it is. When you guys get some time to schedule, when we meet next week, there might be some low hanging fruit between putting up flyers, using lunches in DDC.
Yeah.
There may be some other things that we can do right now, at least to promote the upcoming elections. And there might be other things that we can discuss, possibly every student on campus receiving an email. Hopefully they'll read it. But there might be other opportunities that I can work with you and support.
Yeah. So
Let me know what time is good for you, okay?
I have a question. We have access to the monitor. We have some of the flyers. Could we work with you to help us put it up or help
We're missing the link of, from when David was doing the monitor to when he left. I think we're missing the link of how to get stuff on the monitor.
Shoot me an email.
Okay.
I've got a great guy over there, Brandon, in the office, who's really far better than I am with that. He can literally come over, like, take it on the desktop and show you how to do it, so you have, in a timely manner, whenever you want to change it, you can upload the information. Now, earlier, Alex looked at the camera and he made a little commercial. I don't think that's a bad idea if you wanted to have some club presidents, 5 or 6 people do it, and maybe we put that on in BDC, and for that half hour or whatever, we have different students, suggest, encouraging others to join Parliament and letting them know the benefit of it. I don't always have the volume up on the TVs, but I can guarantee on that day I will. Right? So
I think-
think creative and out of the box here.
Right. I agree. I mean, I think this whole situation is, we had the president's luncheon last Wednesday, and I think I was listening and realizing that there's just been a lack of education about what SCG actually is and what it does, and we need to remedy that, and yeah, so I think we need to do what you're saying and work on it. Yeah.
And I hate to say it like this, but for many people, any organization where you evaluate what has that organization done for you lately? And there's so many positive things that SCG can communicate. Right across the spectrum, it doesn't matter what your major is here, it doesn't club. There's opportunities, clubs are funded. There's so many things that we do have to get the word out. And it's not just writing on a text, or those are great meetings. Sometimes it's grassroots, one-on-one, just going through the time and speaking. Thank you.
I want to add to that also. Just like Arthur said, we have to, what value not only does SCG give to the students, but also Parliament participation. I'm applying to the doctorate program. All these little things come into play. I'm a non-traditional student. You know, I'm 37 years old, believe it on the record. You know, I have 2 kids, one is 21, one is 3 years old, and even for us, we might think sometimes like, what benefit can I get from this? And when I put that on my resume, on top of combat leadership experience, this recent things that I did showed the law school, hey, you know, he's still involved, he still could be a great asset to our college or school of law. So I feel like between the SCG, the leadership, and Parliament also should also try to address how can they benefit from this. Because once they're in the door, they'll realize that the work that they're doing is meaningful. They realize that they could manage $1 million budget. You know, you don't get that experience outside. You don't get to pick and choose and how to do creative thinking. How can we help this club? How can we look at these bylaws, especially business management, accountants, anything that has to do with business? You know, having all these bylaws, balancing the books, making sure the budget, the electric committee, and choosing and making sure, validating, certifying. These are all skills that businesses look for when they go outside. So even if the e-board, you know, just get together and say, hey, this is the value we can do. This is how we can beef up your resume. This is how your resume will look, because the SCG is an actual corporation, and I don't think students actually realize that. I don't think that it's a separate entity from the college. It's not. It's its own corporation. So giving them that value, I think that's a solid, especially for seniors that are about to graduate, that are looking to maybe fill up those spots. So if you guys need help quantifying all that, we can come up with something together. We can meet up and say, hey, we manage a $750,000 budget, and we disperse it between 23 clubs, and 15,000 students or 6,000 students were affected by the decisions that we made at the finance committee. Those are all leadership and are extremely quantifiable. So we need to go, I guess, beyond just the activities, but what value would this add to my resume on top of my college education? I think that's a great selling point for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that I do agree with that. And I really like the work. I don't know, I keep going back, but I think that
Commercial.
yeah, like just something where we're like, I think it would be fun. Maybe Rain can help us out with that, you know? But I think for my issues in Parliament, I just wanted to bring up LASO, so Latin American Student Organization. We're having a couple events for Positively Rick. I know you guys, I hope you guys are familiar with the April challenge that Rick's attempting to do. So attend your events, you get entered into, what is it, like, if you earn 5 hours, you get a chance to win a free t-shirt. If you earn 10 hours of going to these events, you get a free Visa gift card. 15 hours, you get entered to a raffle to win 6 Flags tickets, a swag bag, the t-shirt, and the Visa gift card. So please join the events. They're all around. They're online on the campus, the RIC website under events, where you can register and see more information. But in retrospect to LASO, we have the Poetry Slam coming up with Carlos Andres Gomez, who's guest speaker, which would be really fun. It's kind of like an open mic. We're having it in the Beach Hall, April 12th, 7:30 to 8:30. That would be really fun if you guys want to come. We also have this really cool event. It's a fundraiser event that we're doing that in hopes to raise money for a child, their membership to the football, the Rhode Island Football Club, so hopefully we're able to, pay for their scholarship so that they can go and just be there and have fun and participate in activities and sports. And also with that, we're having a cleat drive. So the cleat drive, we're essentially just asking people to donate any lightly used soccer gear, so like soccer socks, shin guards, cleats, anything you own that's like athletic wear. We're trying to have a box there in SU, so like the student union. They're kind of everywhere. They're this purple box. We're gonna hopefully ship them out to Mexico, Guatemala, and Colombia for the kids to eat. So just remember, if they don't have anything, they're happy with anything, please just donate anything. It could be socks, shoes, anything you have. We're just looking for something to put in these boxes to donate for the kids. And then that's it for me.
So any organizations that are interested in attending the Accepted Students Day, that will be on Saturday, from 2:30 to 3:30 in the Murray Center, yeah. And if you would like to reserve a table, you can email, I believe his name is, I think it's
Jason Anthony.
Jason Anthony. So you can email him if you'd like to reserve a table for your organization. Remember 2:30 to 3:30, if you'd like to get more awareness for your organization. SCG will be there. All right, I think that's all.
Now I'm seeking a motion for adjournment. I have a motion by Secretary Ferrero and a second by President Thurston. Any discussions? All those in favor say aye.